Yo, 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 I hope you're enjoying your ride. It's time
For the drive for five.
podcast. Let's go.
Yo,
Yo, yo, yo, this is your boy, Coach Chris.
This your boy, Coach Miles.
Drive for Five podcast, man. We are back. We are here to talk more football, sports. It's been a lot of stuff happened since the last interview. Uh, and speaking of our last episode, we got the legendary Coach Alan Suber back in the building. This time, not to talk about his illustrious career, but this time to actually have a conversation about football. So just some good barbershop football talk.
yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir, man. We're glad to have you, man. It was just crazy that we decided to do this today, on the day of all days, man. Something crazy happened, and the news broke the internet. The legendary Coach Saban, Nick Saban, retires today. Man, how many championships? 6 championship rings? Is it six or
Yeah,
seven?
6.
Yeah, man, 6 championship rings, man. Dominant coaching career, man. Not only at Alabama, man. He got a ring at LSU, right? Am I right? Or did
Correct.
you got, and then did he give him a ring at Michigan State, or was he just, or did he?
No,
Yeah, okay, they just perform. I don't really have to change that whole program around. Michigan State was very competitive again, under Nick Saban, man. So.
Great Nick.
Thoughts, man. I want to hear from you, Coach Allen, man. I know you got a lot of experience here in the coaching world. You know, what I mean, you know about how this coaching circle goes, man. This coaching carousel rolls, man, and retirements out the blue, how it affects the program. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's definitely a time to kind of be grateful and pay homage, so to speak, for the product that he's put on the field over this last decade or so. I don't think that type of dominance will happen again, with the common era of the way that the transfer portal is going to really flip rosters year in, year out. Rosters are going to change, every season. So it's been a great ride, uh, and it was very abrupt, man. I don't know. I got a couple people that said they saw this coming, but I didn't see it coming.
Man, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I thought he definitely wanted to go out with a championship.
I was telling Chris, man, a moment ago, well, earlier, like I feel like I feel like he he let them know. I feel like they've been giving us signs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the media, they've been showing his wife and all that stuff a lot lately, hugging on the kids and loving on the boys and all that stuff, man. I, I, I personally think that it was already talked about. I think some of the kids knew it, like he let them know. It just never got out. It never left that circle, and like they wanted to do it for him, couldn't do it for him. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
immediately they're not. Y'all remember when the post conference, Dallas Turner, boom, he immediately like, yeah, no, I ain't even gonna play with you, man. I'm gone, man. Boom, boom. Then Kool-Aid, boom, I'm gone. This person gone. Then they ended up losing like 15, 20 people through the transfer portal and stuff like that. I think those kids and everybody within that program knew that it was going, and I think they tried to make it work. I also, my personal opinion, man, and I strictly hope this don't offend anybody, but I think that's why they hired Buddy from Notre Dame.
You think he's the answer for the
No,
next head
no, no,
coach?
no, 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 no. I feel like that was Nick Saban trying to elevate a young man that probably wanted to get a head coaching job or whatever. And he put him on the stage bigger than Notre Dame, in my opinion. And he gave him opportunity to showcase his offense. That's what I think.
Okay. Well, he's definitely not the guy, the next guy. I,
Yeah.
I almost think that they're having a little buyer's remorse of him being the offensive coordinator. But I agree with you on what you said about them knowing, because obviously they are very strategic to wait after the transfer portal closed before this came, public, to hold on to some players that they got and really to keep that roster together. So, it's definitely something that was kept quiet as much as they could inside the walls of Alabama.
Man, who's the coach gonna be? That's what I want to know. Like at this, who follows up Saban and says, you know what, I'm gonna go there and try to duplicate or exceed his success and really take that job, man. Like
I don't know.
that you have to be a different type of coach or a young coach who just don't care.
I was always
You
told,
want
man.
you
I was all I got a great buddy of mine, man. Love him to death. You would tell me all the time, never follow a legend. Like you gotta let somebody else take that job, and then you go ahead and go behind that guy, because the expectations is gonna be so ridiculous that not many guys. Not saying it can't be done, man. I just it's not many that can do it.
Right.
So
You're trying to set yourself up. You know what I mean? For like,
Chris,
having any success.
if I'm the athletic director at Alabama right now, I'm going after Drinkowitz at Missouri. To me, that's the best candidate because you have a guy who's won in the SEC. You have a guy who won in the SEC with dynamic offense and 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 superior schematic defense. Um, and he's recruited at a high level in in a in a dry recruiting area in the Midwest when we're talking about SEC football. That's not where they're going to get their kids. The majority of their kids come from the Southeast. So imagine putting him in a situation where you have all the resources of the top tier schools, and he brings this innovation that he's had, on offense and defense. I think that's the best guy that's out there.
mm,
I feel like you gotta make a splash. Now, in my heart of hearts, I thought the only person who's, excuse my language, ballsy enough to follow Saban and try to like actually try to duplicate his success is Kiffin
Lane,
Lane,
yeah.
going to get Lane and
Mm.
letting him like
I guarantee they finna holler.
I feel like though, and this is what Miles brought this up to me earlier. With his Dabo's alma mater, it being his alma mater, and that might be something that sways him that way. You know what I mean? But even and I think that's something that's needed for Dabo because at the end of the day, Clemson, man, they're gonna have to do a lot to kind of like keep up with the times, keep up with the Joneses as far as the transfer portal and trying to adjust with the NIL. I know. I mean, I was once told, man, the teams that's struggling right now with the NIL is the teams that's been doing the NIL, and that's because they're now they haven't been
Now
able
the
to.
ground is even, right?
Yeah,
The
the
playing ground
grounds
is
are
even.
even, and now they're not the new hot stuff. So everybody want to go see what the new hot stuff is looking like. You know what I mean? So, I want to see how that works with Dabo, man. But I think Lane is the only one that got that's willing to go behind a legend and say, I'm gonna shoot my shot and I don't care if I fail. You know what I mean? That's one of those guys, man, that I think that could do so and actually I actually think he can, revitalize the program a little bit, man, because he's
Oh, he
recruiting.
just got that extension too.
Yeah, man, but you know how
Good
these
by
college coaches are with these buyouts, man.
When
Alabama had
Bam, oh yeah, that now that buyout might be large, Chris.
yeah, that buyout might be crazy. Hey, so
Alabama got it. The
yeah,
Tide got it.
they definitely got it.
They
Facts,
got it.
facts.
That's fact. Hey, like my two dark horses for the job would be D'Amico Ryans and Steve Sarkisian.
Mm, mm.
But after 4 years of establishing Texas as a power again, do you leave that for all the lofty expectations that you guys just talked about?
Right.
For my alma mater.
I would not. Not right now. I would wait until somebody else take that shot on and stand in front of the bullet, man. Somebody else got to stand in front of that bullet. Because again, next year's expectation for Alabama is college football playoffs and competing for a national championship. With all
Because
the kids,
Chris, look, Chris, I think right now you got to think about this too. I'm sorry I cut you off, but think about this. Let's name the coaches that are licking their lips right now in the SEC, saying, "I'm not going anywhere. This
oh,
is my time to take
This is
over with
my
the
time
program where
to
I'm at."
over. This is it. This is the opportunity for me to showcase. It's Texas being one of them. Sarkeesian being one of them.
man. He still got
Texas, Lane
Kirby.
Kiffin at Ole Miss.
Well,
You
see,
still got
here's what
Kirby.
I'm hearing about. Here's what I'm hearing about Kirby, and that's a conversation for later on in the conversation when we talking about the coaching carousels and things of that nature. Um, um, I'm hearing Kirby might be heading to the NFL, and that's
Really?
I'm just
Yeah, they've been
it's
talking about
thoughts
that
and
with
conversations. He's not really feeling this whole transfer portal
The
NIL
new era?
era
Right.
either. So he's thinking he's losing a lot of kids to the transfer portal. He's losing a lot of kids to this NIL. So where you see him upgrade himself up to the Falcons, the hometown team, and he might have
Wow.
some respect there, seeing as though he's accomplished so much in the state of Georgia. So I
You
don't
heard
know.
it here. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, man. It's been rumors though. It's been rumors circulating on the internet. What I mean, especially here in Atlanta. Um, you know,
man.
plus, especially with some of the moves that we're expecting them to make, man. Because at the end of the day, like with Kirby, was Justin Fields playing under Kirby Smart, or was that another head coach?
Oh, Justin Fields played on.
No, Justin Fields left. He
Yeah,
was
but
with
he
Ryan
originally
Day.
signed with Georgia. His
He
original,
he was
It was an unhappy marriage, though.
yeah,
unhappy man. I think he was part of their first
yeah, first recruiting class or
I
something.
think
He transferred
yeah,
on state. I mean,
yeah.
it's, that's something to think about.
I
And
don't think
so
he would. I
And
don't think he would want to play for him though.
keeping Justin Fields.
I don't think Chicago's keeping Justin Fields.
I think they are.
So when you listen to press conferences, right? I try to listen to press conferences. Shout out to Ryan Poles, man. He's a Rochester, New York native. With Canandaigua out there. Um, I always pay attention to the language, man. And when you're talking about a franchise quarterback that you're planning on giving an extension to this year, if that's how you believe in him, and you're sitting there telling the media, yeah, man, I, we still got some things to figure out. I'm not sure. We still got some things to figure out. It leads me to believe that you haven't given him the vote of confidence to even want to be on your program to re-sign with you. So at this particular point, you're kind of strapping your hands behind your back, saying it's over with. So I think Justin Fields, the writers on the wall, he's out of there. I think they reset the clock. They go get Caleb.
But here's my thing with Caleb. I'm a I'm a extremely big fan of Caleb and things like that. But you know, he's a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not doing nothing no different than what that kid that you already have can do. And all Caleb is just gonna do is sit in the pocket, roll out, and throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna give you a Patrick Mahomes, kind of sidearm throw sometimes that's gonna wow and woo. But I got an established guy that's clearly started figuring it out. And I actually heard, I mean not heard, but I was reading some stuff the other matter of fact this morning or yesterday about they firing the offensive staff and bringing in somebody that's gonna work with Justin. I'm keeping Justin. I'm keeping Justin. I'm bringing in the OC man that can cater to his skill set, and then I'm drafting more guys with what I already have.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I gotta cut you off here real quick, Miles, and I want to tell you something.
They keep
You
the
said
same
some
head coach.
before I forget, and I'm sorry, Sue, if you had a point to prop in there. I just want to say this real quick. You just said some real stuff, man. I'm telling you but everything you said points to all the reasons why they're getting rid of him. Because one, if you don't believe in this kid right now, You're gonna try to give him a new OC as he's just now figuring it out. Makes no sense, right? Second, you gotta pay him. If you want to keep him, you gotta pay him. And at this particular point, if I don't believe in the kid and I don't have full faith that he's gonna be my starter for the next 4 years, if I'm still in the I don't know stages, I'm trading him out of there. Want to get my guy for the next 4 years. He's under a rookie salary cap. I can build around him. I can sign veterans. I can build a winning program. That's the reason why he's going to get a new OC staff. That new staff, offensive staff, is the build around the rookie quarterback that they bring in. That's what they're doing right now. And they're getting rid of Justin Fields, unfortunately. But hey, here's an FYI. Shout out to Roddy, man. He tweeted this the other day, man. Go ahead, Atlanta. This is your chance to get the quarterback of the future. Go get Justin Fields.
He from here, man. He won a state championship right there in that same dome. So, like, I mean,
Yeah, I'll say this,
but what
man.
what
It's
what,
gonna
what coach you bringing in? So
where because
in Atlanta,
y'all touched on in Atlanta.
yeah.
Um, in Atlanta, I think where they need the most answers is on offense. They have enough pieces there to be successful and very productive from the tight end to the two backs. I think they go after a receiver in the draft to upgrade there. But I saw some flashes from Ritter that showed that he has the capability to be an NFL quarterback. How high his ceiling is, I'm not sure, but that's something that they have to look into. So I would go after an offensive guy, um, and I, just to be honest, I'm looking at the fella from the Texans. Um, I would look into coaches that are ready on the Dolphin staff. I don't have anybody specific, man, that I really love for that Atlanta job. I grew up in this NFC South down here in Tampa, and I think Atlanta is 2 seasons out from being good, period, just because of roster issues. I don't know if maybe they need to look at some GM changes as well. But they've just missed on their roster to me for the last 3 or 4 seasons. They just missed like having Cordell, what is it, Patterson,
Yeah.
having him uh play that tailback slash receiver position. It's a National Football League, man. You got a 50 plus man roster to specialize players in specific positions. And that Cordell Patterson experiment hasn't worked, and they're still tinkering with it. So
They
I
got
kind of lost a little faith.
the young boy from Texas. I mean, yeah, Texas.
Yeah, Bijan, I think he's exceptional, and they had the kid from the year before from BYU who played
They
well.
got the
So they've
Algier.
got
Yeah.
Algier. There you go.
Mhm.
Yep.
But they got,
Yeah,
drafted Drake Young London. They got the guys Pitts.
but he's a two at best. You agree?
You right, I agree. I agree. I
Yeah, he's
The guy,
complimentary,
the
man. He
guy,
hit number one.
here's my thing, bro.
the guy. But see, look, they've been so unsuccessful with play calling for the tight end, and he was a top 5 pick.
Here's the name I'm gonna throw out there. And again, I just having conversation with people that kind of like, yo,
Be enemy,
I was
or
thinking,
has his time
I
passed?
thought no, I thought about being enemy. That was my original thought process. But here's another name again, and I was just having a conversation, right, say Brian Leftwich.
After sitting out a year,
After sitting out a year, coming back, he's an offensive mind, offensive genius. He can he could probably get I know he can get the kid get the team to buy in. You know what I mean? There's been thoughts about Bieniemy and the way his process is as a coach in reference to how he deals with his players. We did a segment on that
Yeah.
last year. So there's been thoughts there's been issues with some players really not being able to gravitate towards him personally. You know what I mean?
okay.
Outside of his genius play calling. So he's a wild card. You know what I mean? But Brian Leftwich, man, I think just thinking about it for a little while, man, he's one of those guys that could probably get that locker room together. Obviously he's an offensive genius. He can probably put together some type of game plan that may work for that position. And I think they also draft a quarterback too, man. I don't not draft a quarterback. I think they go trade for a quarterback. I think they missed the boat with
Get a veteran.
yeah, of course. I think they missed the boat with Lamar Jackson last year. I think they know that they missed that boat. Whatever collusion or whatever was going on that made them not pull that trigger. I think they know they missed that, and they're looking for another quarterback to revitalize the city, man. I think they're looking for that next big like quarterback. And to me, the one of those guys it just might be Justin Fields at this particular. That's the second best guy you're gonna get to do that. So I'm looking at Justin coming, putting Brian Leftwich there. You got a black head coach, you got a black quarterback. It's in Atlanta, one of the blackest cities. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that.
You sell tickets that way, but
Of course, and that's
I
really what
just
it's all about
Chris,
at the end of the day, right?
I just I don't see wins resulting in this. Like, all right, so listen, I'm with you. I'm looking for the resurgence of Byron Leftwich. He left abruptly after winning a Super Bowl. That's unbelievable way to go out. And to not be able to get back into the business, that's uncalled for. All right, so I'm looking for him to get back in. But there's nothing about Justin Fields' career that yells, I'm gonna change your organization, that I'm an organization changer. There's just nothing about it. And the experiment of bringing him to Atlanta, I think, is a repeat of what he just went through in Chicago. He's got no pieces around him.
Well, you got Pitts, you got a running game. You're
But
on
he's
first.
but Pitts has proven to be so unproductive that I can't look at
Well,
him the
that's what
same way
happened.
anymore.
Well, but that also comes to play with that offensive play caller. You got when you got an offensive play caller and he's not that's not designing plays to get one of your best athletes the ball. Then that's what happened.
Man, we pay you to play. Shit. We pay you to play, man.
I mean, at the end of the
So you
day,
feel you're saying so you feel like he should have made more plays, right?
Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah,
come
so do I.
on. Like,
Like I've
you
watched
top
it
five
long
pick,
enough,
bro.
Chris.
You top five
Yeah,
pick.
I watched it long enough, Chris, and I wasn't judgmental at first to like give him a chance to get going in the offensive system. And it's been some years now, and he still hasn't been productive. The most he scored 3 touchdowns, the most in the season.
I sat there and watched Mike, Mikey Evans, man. I sat and watched him grind, boom, be 1,000 yard receiver and all these accolades, man, and all the stuff that he was doing in Tampa. He wasn't even making the playoffs, man. The same spot, bro. Like, come on, man. He's going through rotating coaches and everything. Like, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Arthur Smith called
I
the
feel
play.
like
That was the same system. They messed up. They messed up with the quarterback.
well, that's
They
why
messed up
that's
with the quarterback. Listen, man. I listen, Stu. I know I heard you say you heard Desmond Ritter do some good things, but I'm gonna tell you something here. I live here in
Yeah,
Atlanta, man, and I can't watch my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I gotta watch the Falcons.
yeah.
and he
And
um,
I've seen me as a receiver, man. Just matter of fact, you know what? You know what I think what caused it was part of the reason why they lost the game. It was because I think it was a fourth down. They put the running back in the flats, and Desmond Ritter could not throw it to an open guy. Like at the end of the day, man, you as a quarterback, you gotta understand that if you're getting paid at that level, there's no reason why you don't understand. So you know the exact kind of back he is. You know exactly how you need to throw it to him, and he was wide open, and you didn't do it.
man,
You did.
Jasmine Ritter had got benched this year for Tyler Henneke.
Yeah,
And that should
Wow.
tell
yeah.
you
That's
everything you need to know about Desmond Ritter and how
Wow.
Atlanta feels about him. I feel like they know they're getting rid of him. Now, at the end of the day, Justin Fields. Here's
He's
the
gonna
thing.
bring. He's gonna spark
Here's
that.
the thing about Justin Fields. At the beginning of the year, I would have 100% agreed with you. lawsuit about how Justin Field hasn't shown me anything that he can do anything for a program. And I would have like, yeah, you know what? It makes a lot of sense. But now that I watched him a few games during late in the season push, and and this team kind of bears. I really think they should keep him honestly. But they remind me of
So do I.
the Detroit Lions 2 years ago.
With Stafford,
No, no, not 2 years ago. I'm sorry. Was it 2 years ago? No, 2 years ago. Stafford was on the Rams still because he won the Super Bowl.
They had golf.
They had golf, but they got hot at the end of the year and they knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
they they were hot at the end of the year, and it was like I'm like they playing like they and Justin Fields was playing like that at the end of this year.
He need to stay.
Here's where I get both sides, the business side of it, and then there's the coaching side, right? And your side of it, you thinking coaching wise, yeah, like keep them, let's build on this, right? Organizational wise, they're thinking, yeah, nah, I'm cool. Like I want to get a new quarterback, reset the market real quick, save a lot of money in the salary cap, and I can go get just FIE 49ers. Pay attention to the 49ers. They're playing on a rookie
correct,
quarterback with Brock Purdy, paying him pennies on a dollar, and now I can got and build all these pieces around him, and we can have a successful playoff push.
correct.
That makes perfect sense for why they're doing it. But
Yeah,
And not to
and
mention, man, they got a lot of draft
but
capital.
I'm looking at Justin Fields on turf in his hometown with a little bit of help from his O line. I still think the Bears O line was atrocious.
yeah. Listen. I look. This is. I would urge you to do this. Go back and watch 2 games from Justin Fields' senior year at Ohio State, and just watch 1 game of him with the Chicago Bears. He's a totally different quarterback,
He's the totally
and
different.
looking at it from a coordinator, play caller's perspective, he looks like he's not seeing it. Like the game, he's not seeing it.
Right.
He's pulling it down. He's pulling it down, and he's moving the chains to do what needs to be done to be successful. But he's not seeing it. And you can look at the play calls that they're making for him. They're very, there's not a lot of complicated things going on
Yeah, I think he's seeing ghosts, obviously, from the O line. I
from
think he
from the
may,
pressure.
I think he doesn't feel like he has the time. And when you're
Okay,
when you're a quarterback and you snap the ball and the first thing you're looking for is the pass rush and who's coming for you, then you're not gonna be able to see it. And I think
that's
that's
fair.
part of the where he is. I feel like once he leaves there, I feel like that's gonna give him a little bit of the confidence boost he needs to trust in his own line. I don't think he trusts the line.
That's fair.
And that's just it's a if you watch him play, you see him take off. It's like that's the first thing he looks for is who's blitzing. If there's blitz if I'm being blitzed, because I watched him too, and I watched 4 or 5 straight plays, and people just teed off on him, and I'm like, God damn, like, are they gonna block? And it is for me as a quarterback, when I know the refs not throwing those flags for me, they're not throwing those flags for me. So I'm taking all these hits. I'm taking these hits. They think I'm a running quarterback. They're not throwing the roughing the passer calls on me. I'm just getting blaster every time. I'm gonna start seeing ghosts too. And the first thing I'm gonna do is take off. So if you're not immediately open, my first read ain't open, my second read is a go. He's gonna get somewhere where someone trusts or allows him to play quarterback, and it's gonna work out great for him. And I hope Atlanta is smart enough to do that this year because they blew it with Lamar Jackson.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
it'll
people
be
around. It's a
interesting.
lot of people around here tight, man, about that Lamar Jackson. They can have it, but I don't think nobody could have ever had a chance at him. I think Baltimore was gonna pay him regardless. Like except
Yeah,
that they
they
made
just
him wait. But here's the thing, man. When it comes to business, and we don't know about, like, we can't sit up here and say, well, why Baltimore ain't do something. Like
Well,
They,
they had to set the going rate,
eh,
Yeah, yeah,
eh,
and
motherfuckers don't even
once no one offered, then they knew where they could come in their first offer to get the deal done.
yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, here's my thing. Even if like the low end teams and things of that nature, you don't tell me you don't shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying? So like
Well,
that that
the
that
other the other element, Chris, is that remember he had an agent that was different from what any
he,
other
he
NFL
he
player has
was his
ever
own
done.
agent. His mom was his agent.
on his mom.
Correct. And the NFL frowns upon that. They rather you have one of the big agents that they're familiar with, that has multiple guys that they've done business with for years and years.
Yeah,
It's a
in our other episode we discussed that because they colluded. We know they colluded. You know what I mean? To try to
correct.
you know pull that off. So it is what it is with that man. But you know that's it's gonna be an interesting thing, man. How this all plays out.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. In my opinion, they should never got rid of Dan Quinn. Like,
Uh,
You a Dan Quinn fan?
yeah, I am, man. I am. I know a lot of NFL guys, man. They speak so highly of him. You know what I'm saying? When you hear people talk so highly of a person all the time, sometimes you kind of, feel like shit, like I know him too, but it just um I just knew how Atlanta was playing under him. You know what I'm saying? Like they were competing, they were winning, like they had guys, the defense was biting. Like I remember
They
watching.
they did look like they were turning the corner.
You know what I'm saying? So and then he went to Dallas and like what he's doing with Dallas defense. It's not him that's losing these games. It's them offense.
I can agree with
You
that.
know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
every time you watch him and they show him up in the damn press box, he woo woo, he high fiving like he got his hat backwards. The fact that he got his hat backwards, man, like I know I'm saying for you, dog. You know what I'm saying? So like I think they should have kept him. But speaking of Dan Quinn, man, I'm hearing he's headed to Seattle.
Pete Carroll.
Really,
Pete
really.
Carroll. Take whoa. We're gonna definitely let's talk about that because I want to talk about this as well. That segments into candidates for the Seattle job. Pete Carroll.
He
Pete Carroll competing for a playoff spot again this year. Came up one game shy. Like consecutive, because five divisional championships, a Super Bowl ring, two Super Bowl appearances.
so Pete to go.
No, I'm not saying that at all. That was a question for the Saban. That's a question for Saban, and I want to ask Sue. I want to get your input on that, Sue, because we touched on that at a convention a few years ago. But I want to talk about that again soon. About that Saban. So Pete Carroll, did he deserve to get fired? And if so, who do you get in there to replace him? He was loved by those players. They loved him. You seen Gino was at the press conference today, as well as who was the other guy that was there? Um, was it Tyler Lockett? Somebody else was there at the press conference today. You know what I mean? So they was there supporting him. Obviously, they say he was pushed. He says he was pushed out. He wanted to be the coach. They said no. Did they pull the
Right.
trigger too soon? Was that something that you would have done if you were in Seattle shoes? And if so, who do you get to replace him?
All right. Well, this is where you have to start. What are the goals from ownership and the top people in the organization for that football team? What are the goals? I'm sure making the playoffs is one of them.
Yeah.
Um, so you don't do that. You kind of you feel like the team. I'm sure if you pulled up their records uh, in Seattle over the past 4 seasons, it's right around the same thing. It's right around the same thing. Little 2-3 games over 500.
Yeah. Yeah. 9-7,
First,
10-6.
there you go. And they feel like their organization is better than that. Um, that yes, they could be content and know that Pete Carroll is going to put a good product together, and they're going to win 9 or 10 and be on the verge of being a playoff team. They want to get back to those days where they're competing for NFC championships and getting into the Super Bowl. And sometime that takes for you to have to shake it up a little bit. I can't say I agree with it because I just think that what Pete's done there, uh, I don't know. As long as I can remember, in my 42-year-old, I don't remember it being as successful there in Seattle any other time.
Right.
Um, I don't know, but they may feel like they have a guy, um, who is the guy to take them over the hump. They might feel like they've got that guy right in their grasp, and now is the time for them to do it before they lose the guy. So we'll see how they move going forward.
Is that guy Dan Quinn? Didn't he? Was he the DC over there? Was he DC under? Was he the DC under? Carroll.
In Seattle,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say this though. I say this, and you may not like what I'm going to say, but it is what it is. Like there's nothing about what Dallas has done that makes me say Dan Quinn uh, should be up for a job. He has arguably a generational talent as an edge rusher. Okay, I haven't seen anybody like Parsons in maybe a decade or so because he can drop in coverage now.
Hmm.
We ain't talking about the Watt brothers that are just hand in the dirt, 3 down. This kid can drop in coverage
Yeah.
and play backs out the backfield. And then he's had one of the greatest seasons in corner play by a guy who's totally inconsistent because outside of those 6 interception returns, if you watch
Yeah.
him throughout the year, he gives up first downs
Just a first
consistently.
down consistent. He
Yeah.
reminds me of Diggs. Diggs do the same thing, but he'll get you 6 picks though.
So with that being said, does that make Dan Quinn a better head coach candidate?
No.
Like I just don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I think he's got a good system defensively, and he's best fit staying as a defensive coordinator because when he had his shot as a head coach, I can't blame it all on Atlanta. They didn't handcuff him. They allowed him to do what he wanted with his roster. And I just think that there are too many good young head coach candidates out. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. 100% of every black head coach made the playoffs. If I'm a general manager or owner and I wanna look for a head coach, I'm looking for the best black head coaches candidates that there are. That's
Yeah.
the first thing on my in my interview thought process.
Yeah. Nah, that makes perfect sense, man. That makes
You
perfect
know,
sense.
you know what? You know what they need to do? Arthur Blank,
What's that?
listen to me right now. You need to go hire that OC and quarterback coach over there in Philly, Coach Johnson, and you need to bring Justin Fields in and let them two make a miracle.
Yeah, because I see Justin Fields' game very similar to Jalen Hurts.
It's
If
almost
he
identical. He
progresses,
just a little bit more athletic.
if he progresses though, if he progresses, he's definitely not on Jalen Hurts level right now.
Because you know who that OC is, right?
But Jalen Hurts was. I think Jalen Hurts after getting comfortable, the difference between Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields right now is that O line.
I agree. I was gonna say that.
I
A hundred
agree.
percent. A
But
hundred. 100%.
y'all know who that OC is, right?
Yeah, he was at Florida. Played at Utah.
Right. Played at Utah, but he was also the youngest titled offensive coordinator in NCAA history.
I love it.
Like he was the offensive coordinator at like 22, 23,
Mm,
something crazy like that.
mm.
And Ken Wisenhunt, was it Wisenhunt? I don't know, man. I forgot his name. But the guy played quarterback and then turned
Talking about
offensive.
Kyle Whittingham. Kyle Whittingham.
Winningham. That's what
Yeah.
I want to say. So they just look like they favor each other.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they named him the youngest OC. That's how I know who he is. Because I never forget looking at that. Like, I was still young when I seen it, and it's like, dang, man, like,
Yeah. You don't find many head coaches that like even places like Shanahan, like he not coaching the quarterbacks.
Nah. Mm,
You know what I mean? He's still got a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator.
right.
You know, he so
hey, who was the OC at Florida the year they went to um, the SEC championship with Dan Mullen? Your boy at Philly. Man,
yes, correct.
listen, man. Listen. I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of the stuff that Philly does is a lot of college style things,
I agree.
and that kid has brought a lot of those concepts and that schematically thing or whatever, and he is doing exactly what Jalen Hurts did in the NCAA. And when he was at Bama, when he was at Oklahoma, they're making the exact same reads. That's why he became successful. Not to mention that he got two freaks at receiver
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
in the run game.
A lot of sense.
So like,
That's what you just try to do in Atlanta if you bring Justin Fields.
and a Hall of Fame center. So like,
We all know they ain't got much of a defense for the last 5 games. That's been exposed. But speaking of, man, I hate to change the topics real quick, man. But you wanna make sure make sure we all touch on this, man. This is finally a good opportunity for us all to kind of put in our playoff picks, man, for the playoffs this weekend. I definitely want to get your thoughts, Sue. You know what I mean, before we close it all out. Um, Playoffs, man. We want to run down the list of games real quick and see if we can get all of our picks. Kansas City, Miami, in Kansas City. Talk about below 0 degrees temperatures.
Below zero.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
supposed to be something
It's
crazy.
supposed to be like below zero or something, man. Miami's 0-10 when it's under 40 degrees. So who you got? Who you picking?
Um,
Miami got a full team. No, because they just lost a lot, but they just also
Chubb, Bradley
they
Chubb,
just
but most are I
they
think
just
some
signed Justin Houston. I don't know how much of a difference he gonna make, but I don't know, man.
got most are coming back. You got most of the offense coming back. I think Jalen Waddle will be back.
That um was if that well, can I make two choices?
I know it's
nah,
the
man.
one.
Injury report ain't came out, man. I don't know. Like that
Okay,
matters.
give me that. Give
That's
me that. Give
gambling,
me
man.
that.
That
Give me that.
matters.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
Um, If they got a full offense, Miami, I think that gives them a shot. Tyreek Hill has played in it. There's a few other guys that's played in it. So um, I'm gonna go with Miami. and also I know that Kansas City. I'm going Miami this week, no matter what. Um, just simply because this is gonna be my crazy pick, but I want to go Miami simply because uh Kansas City them to lead the league in drops, man. Like they they struggle each and every week for the past 8, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Like that offense, they're barely getting by.
So you're good. I was going. No,
Mahomes,
no, no, I'm not even saying you're going against Mahomes. Before I even, I don't want to go butcher your picks. I ain't gonna do that.
I got Miami.
Hold on, you got Miami. You got Miami in minus 0 degrees in Kansas City for a playoff game.
Loudest.
They're not even gonna throw the ball, man. They're gonna run. It's so cold. Nobody's throwing and catching the ball. I think they're gonna run the
And what's
ball.
the win? Is the win like what are we talking about?
Huh?
Is this supposed to be like extremely windy or something?
I'm not sure. I know if it's cold, when just being cold alone, throwing the ball, that ball is probably gonna feel like cement. That ball is gonna feel like
Yeah,
cement.
yeah. I'm going. I'm gonna jump in because y'all bouncing back and forth, man. Y'all don't know who y'all want to pick. I'm going with Kansas City just because I think Kansas City has a better run game in between the tackles. I think that's what this game's going to call for. They've been in this weather before, and it's another Kansas City home playoff game, bro. The numbers tell you, bro, that they don't
They
lose.
don't lose. And Miami,
Yeah,
Tennessee. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
with y'all on that one, man. I'm with you. We're gonna go Kansas City. Miles is gonna go ahead and he's putting in for Miami. Um, now the
Not
next.
not big, not big, Chris. It might only be by 3.
No, I
You know
definitely
what I
think it's
mean?
gonna be a close game. I don't think it's supposed to be a high scoring game at all, man. I'm looking at 13-10, something like that, man, because it's just I just know how cold it can get and playing in that
Right.
frigid weather, man, is you don't really want to do much. Only some of those players gonna want to really do much, and that's really built like that. You know what I mean? Everybody else is
Yeah,
gonna really just try to get the game over with. They're gonna play it between the trenches. It's gonna be Isaac Pacheco should have a big game, and Kansas City will pull this one out. I feel like and get the dub. Um,
yeah.
Houston, Cleveland. This is a very interesting matchup. The rookie, CJ Stroud, going against the veteran, Joe Falco. It's in Houston. D'Amico Ryan, first year rookie coach, head coach, got his team in the playoffs with rookie players. Man, how do y'all feel about it? What you going with the veteran
Uh,
or the
Let
rookie?
me touch this one. Let me touch this one, man. And I am a little biased because I'm a Houston Texans fan. Have been for a while now, long, long while.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Now, I think when we talk about D'Amico Ryan, we have to put some respect on his name because I think he's the coach of the year with the job he's done.
I do too. I agree.
The turnaround that he's made with the Texans is has been remarkable to watch all year. He got those guys winning close games. He got those guys making game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, getting big stops when necessary. So I'm going with the Texans. Two, it's extremely tough to beat a team twice in the season.
Mm,
All right. So I don't see Cleveland coming in their home beating them down again. Third time, the last time they played, CJ Stroud was out.
yeah, you was hurt,
He was
right?
still he was still in concussion protocol.
Mm,
So I see a new team, new game plan. They're gonna be watching film, uh, preparing off of you know old film that's not gonna help them in this game. So I'm going with the Houston Texans, and I'm going 24-17.
mm.
Man, he gonna throw the snow out there. Okay.
Let's go.
I like it. I like that pick. I was gonna go with the veteran. I like what everything that you said. made perfect sense. But history tells me when you deal with the playoffs, man, always go with the veterans, man. Flacco is 5-0 in the first round of playoffs. He's been finding a way to pull it out, and it's like he's on like this little hot streak, man. And it reminds me of how it was back in what I forgot what year it was when they won the Super Bowl, beat the Niners. It was just like a hot streak, man, where he was just getting everything. Like everything was working for him. And I feel like that's one of these things that's happening right now, man. So until I see somebody kind of knock him off that streak, I'm going with Falco, man. It's another reason why I'm going with that is they're the only team that I see that can upset the Ravens. But that's for another conversation. That's for another conversation. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a score of 31-14.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah, dang. You know what? I don't know, man. I know who I want to root for. Um, but I think I'm rolling with CJ, man. Like I'm rolling with the young kid. Like he's playing like he got something to prove, man, and he's playing with extreme confidence. He's got those receivers and the offense. He has the team believing, and they're at home. I feel like he's fresh. I feel like he's hungry. And I feel like Joey Flacco, man, is due for a bad game.
Mm.
Um, so I'm going. I'm rolling with CJ. Hey, CJ, D'Amico. Um, hey, man, let's ride, man. Like I'm rolling with y'all, and I'm a roll with 17-14.
Low score.
Let's
Hey man,
let's go.
shout out to D'Amico though and CJ. Hey, I like y'all though. Especially D'Amico, obviously old DC from the Niners. So shout out to you, man. Congratulations on all your success. But I just again, logic tells me my heart is telling me one thing and my brain is telling me another. And I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with my brain today. Yeah, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the veteran leadership. So that's interesting, man. That's good. That's good. So I'm going Browns. Sue got going Houston, and we got Miles going Houston as well. Um, Next game, Bills, Steelers. Got Josh Allen. They had to go on a hot streak to get into the playoffs. Somewhat similar to you got the Steelers who had to switch quarterbacks. Got rid of the rookie, let the rook sat down the rookie. He got hurt, put in Mason Rudolph. Rudolph kind of led him into the playoffs. Um, Probably gonna start again. Who y'all got, man? You got Mike Tomlin pulling it out, or you got Josh Allen, continuing this hot streak.
I'll be quick with this one, man. Steelers are dismal on offense. Buffalo has shown the ability to overcome Josh Allen's multiple turnovers every game and score 25 points or more. And now I would take Tomlin with Watts, but with no Watts showing up, I can't. There's no way that the Steelers have enough ammo to beat the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going with the Buffalo Bills with a score of like 24-9.
Mm, 3 field goals for the Steelers. I hear that. I hear that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Bills as well. I'm gonna go Bills. I feel like obviously like you said, Josh Allen and the Bills, the offense just found ways to win. They've simplified the offense. Just run the ball, run read option, and we're just gonna pound it down at you and dare you to stop it. That way we can limit the turnovers. However, for Josh Allen, even though he still finds ways to throw them. That read option is crazy with Josh Allen and James Cook. So I'm gonna go Bills. Um, Um, I'll say a close one though. I'll say 21-17 Buffalo.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Not that. Yeah, I'm going Buffalo, and my reason being is, um, the Steelers. They're a scrappy team, but they're definitely disgruntled, and I don't know what's going on within the organization, but they found a way to win because of Mike Tomlin standard. But I'm going with Buffalo, man. They got too many stars, and they're at home. They're Buffalo. So,
Yeah, yeah,
Can I mention something real quick?
yeah, definitely.
Listen, man. A month and a half ago, just put this in perspective. A month and a half ago, the Buffalo Bills fan were calling to fire the head coach
Mhm.
and to make full all out changes. And I just watched them last Sunday cheer and all and celebrate in that back end zone when Buffalo beat Miami and he still brought them a home game. That's what's bad about sports right now, bro.
Yeah,
It is, man. A month and a half ago, they wanted his head,
they wanted his head. They wanted him fired.
and he ran off 6 games and got him a home playoff game.
Yes, man. So I see what you said about you hate about sports is also kind of what we love about sports because as a coach, that's kind of our competitive edge. You know what I'm saying? It's like being down in the playoffs. 3-1, and you gotta win, and you gotta scheme it up. And as a coach, I seen that they simplified things and made it very easy for them to win. Like they said, hey, we're gonna stop playing. The Dallas game was a perfect example. We're gonna stop letting Josh Allen be Superman, and we're just gonna run the ball. Like we're just gonna run it. We'll run the same play 40 times if we have to, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to win. And it seems like that's what he's been doing, man. So yeah, I hate it too. The fans and everybody's on you. That, but I kind of feel like in a way, man, that's like our pressure as a coach. That's like our booze, our yeah. This is it for you, man. Like you down. They about to get rid of you, and you gotta come. Mike Tomlin is a perfect example of that because I feel like Mike Tomlin was in the same boat. If he didn't make the playoffs, he'd probably be the one getting fired, like Pete
and
Carroll.
he's never had a losing season.
He's never had a losing season.
Yeah, I don't. How do you fire a guy that's never had a losing season?
I,
I can see if you become disgruntled, but he's never had a losing season.
and see, this is where you kind of put things in perspective for me. The only thing I could think of is, him teetering on that mediocrity of 9-7, 10-6, and they're like, look,
The Pete Carroll
the
deal.
Pete Carroll deal. We're gonna call it that from now on, the Pete Carroll deal. And I feel like he got the Pete Carroll package. It was like you either win or you in, and Pete lost. Pete lost,
Crazy.
and it cost him.
Carol.
Pete lost, and it cost him. And I feel like Tomlin won out, and that's the reason why he's still in. Next year we'll have the same conversation about Mike Tomlin if they're teetering around 10-6, 10-7 again. I'm sure.
But let's be honest though. Tomlin has had a slightly above 500 roster for the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, I agree. His roster has been trash, and he's
Okay. So, not to cut you off, but before you speak, um, since he's been there so long, does he not have full control over the roster?
No, the
no.
Steelers is one of the teams that they don't use like national scouting as their baseline for players. They have their own personal scouting department that does it separately.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So having control, yes, but you still go and evaluate the players as a whole. You know what I mean? Like they rank the board. If there's 10 corners, they bring in their 10 best, and then the position coaches, head coach, everybody's looking at them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I feel like my time has always been a little handicapped, but with what he was doing, what he was doing with, but yeah, he's one of the greatest coaches. So I feel like once if he ever hits the board, if he ever hits the board, it's not gonna be hard for him to land a job, and take over another program and successfully build another winning program. Um,
I don't think he coaches anywhere else.
you don't think
I
so?
think he I think he retires a Steeler.
That'd be crazy. So if they fire him next year, you think he'll just retire?
What are we on, year 17?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I
I
think so.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that's unprecedented.
It's a pretty illustrious career.
Yeah, who's the only guy that's more long tenured is well, Belichick, right?
Belichick and uh
Pete
Harbaugh.
Carroll's got to be up there
Harbaugh.
somewhere. Harbaugh, okay.
Harbaugh's doing another one. But
He's also if you pay attention, man, he's also in some people eyes, man, stand up voters. So they
yeah,
like they have loyalty or some kind of something. So
yeah.
I don't know. That's just what I heard.
Definitely a conversation we're gonna continue on having another podcast, man. Real quick though, another game. Or you give me yours? Your pick, Miles? Okay, cool. Uh Rams, Lions. This is my favorite game of this week, man. Golf, playing against his old team that traded him to
They play
or
each other, just not in this kind of
I understand that not with this kind of
yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean because this whole time Matthew Stafford been there, they never made the playoffs. So it's kind of interesting that they're finally making the playoffs, hosting a game at that, and Matthew Stafford is the first team to come in there to play them. Um, I want to
Let me
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead, my bad.
Well, I want to go ahead and throw my pick out there, man. I originally was thinking like Matthew Stafford's gonna come in there and light that thing up. You know what I mean? It's like it's his go round. But now I'm thinking about Jared Goff and him finally getting some get back at Sean McVay, because he actually has some talent around him and he's been playing all right lately. But I've been battling back and forth on this one, man. I think it's gonna be a close one. I definitely think it's gonna be a shootout. I think it's gonna be 34-31, but I do think Matthew Stafford pulls it out. But I don't think it's because of him. So I'm gonna go with the Rams, 34-31 in Detroit.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep it quick, man. Rams are arguably playing the best football in the National Football League for the last month.
I've been seeing it too.
Um, yeah, I think they ran off maybe 6 or 7 straight um, to to flip their season around. They're getting back a healthy Cooper Cup to add to Parkour. Um, Stafford's going back to Detroit, where he never really got the opportunity to be a consistent playoff team. He has a great running game behind him that he hasn't had in the past. And I like the Rams. I like the Rams by 10. Um, but I do think that this Lions team uh, wins wins 12, 13 games again next year, and they're in a situation where they win their first round game, uh, their wild card round, and going to the second round. But I think this is steps that the Lions have to take towards being, a strong team in the NFC.
Gotcha. How you feeling, Miles? What you see?
Man,
Rams, Detroit.
listen, man, the Rams play good. I mean, not the Rams, the Lions. The Lions play well, man. They play exciting. They got St. Brown and Um, what's your boy from
Jameer Gibbs.
Jameer
I
Gibbs?
like Gibbs.
But one thing that I do know, and I've been watching, Jared Goff is extremely consistent. Um, I know the vet Rams, like you said, too, man, they've been playing great ball. I've been paying attention to them. I'm going with the Rams, and I'm going with the Rams 31-17.
Okay. Everybody think the Rams gonna at least score 30. I see that. That's good to go. Okay. So next game, man. We got
Bucks Eagles.
I was getting there. You beat me to the punch.
Bucks Eagles, man. I'm
Bucks,
going with the
Eagles. Eagles
I'm
are
the same.
favored to win this game.
And I ain't got no reason.
It's in Tampa. Um, Philly's been struggling lately. Tampa has I wouldn't say struggled the last two games, but offensively, there was some hiccups here and there. But before Baker's been playing lights out. Had a couple of perfect games. And he got Tampa into the playoffs for the first time since Tom Brady retired. So this is gonna be a good interesting matchup. Who do you got? Obviously, Miles. I'm gonna let you go first, Miles, on how amped up you is about your squad.
Yeah. Nah, man, I'm going with the Bucks, man. I we're home. I know the Eagles fans travel. They're gonna be out there. They're gonna be strong. It's gonna be a Monday night. I'm not pretty sure. Still, you'll have to let me know what that was like down there. But I know that AJ Brown, he got hurt. He got hurt the other day. Um, and I know Jalen Hurts throwing hand got hurt the other day as well. So I think we got some things going for us, man. I think we're gonna be excited. I think we're gonna be energized to play in front of our hometown. I think we're gonna be motivated. I think Baker's gonna be motivated. I think he's playing with some kind of motivation, man. I just hope he sees the right guy. Um, the O line holds up a bit, and our corners cover, and I think we'll be fine. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks, uh, 24-21.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, there's no way there's 45 points scored in that game. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. The Bucks offense was dismal last week against a Panthers team who won two or three football games. They had to win 9-0. I don't see them even against a Philly team that's not playing their best football right now. I don't see them having a lot of success on offense. Um, Defensively, um, I would I would feel the same way you felt, Miles, about about Hurt having a finger that's bothering him. I think it's broken, and the receiver getting hurt last game. But the answer to winning this game for the Eagles is not throwing the football. It's being physical and running the ball and taking the wheel out of the Bucks, controlling the ball and limiting their possessions on offense that they already can't score with. So I like Philly, and I'm gonna go like 17-3.
Mm. Mm. Oh, that's interesting. So, all right, this is one of those other games where my heart and my head is battling each other, man, because I secretly want Tampa to knock Philly off and be meet us in the second round and that'd be an easy cakewalk into the NFC Championship. But I feel like for the same reason as you said, um, Tampa struggled with Carolina, man, winning 9-0 in a must-win game. And it bothered me, man. It bothered me a lot because it just felt like, um, all those games, all those games where yeah, they uh, showed out statistically so well. The offense performed so well. You get to this playoff, I mean, this playoff must-win game, and you give me a 9-0 performance to Bryce Young in the Carolina defense. It really scared me. It made me a little. worried going into the playoffs, and I think Philly is a little upset. I think they needed that bye week. I needed, or not a bye week, I should say, but they needed last week to just take that L, regroup, get their minds right. And I think that now they're coming into Tampa angry and upset. So I think they're definitely going to pull this one out. I think it's going to be a lot worse than people expect. I do think they're going to score a lot of points. I'm looking at 28-10 Philly. That's how I'm gonna go with that one. Last game, Dallas, Green Bay in Dallas. Big time playoff matchup. I think Green Bay has won the last 10 games versus Dallas. Or they 10-1 or something like that. 10-1 versus Dallas in the last 10 games, 11 games. Jordan Love's been throwing the ball all over the place, playing pretty good football. Obviously, Dak Prescott's been playing some of the best football of his career, leading Dallas to the number two seed. CeeDee Lamb, week after week, has had 100 yards and a touchdown. Just they're getting him the ball. It's very simple. Get him the ball. It reminds me of the old Dallas offense without the running game. Just throw the ball up to 88, let him catch the fade route and or the slant, and we're gonna live and die with that all day. But Dallas and Green Bay going at it in Dallas. Who do you got?
Let me say this, man. All that stuff you said was good stuff, man. I think Dallas breaks that streak. Um, I got Dallas winning it, but I got it a lot closer than you would think. I got it 24-21. Dallas. Um, they have the ability to beat Green Bay by 3 touchdowns, but their inability to run the ball is going to cause them some problems against Green Bay because right now they're extremely hot on offense, man. They've been really hot these last couple weeks and been scoring some points. I don't think defensively that they're ready to come up with the big stops they're going to need to beat Dallas. And it's at Jerry's World, man. It's hard to
Yeah,
win there, big dog.
yeah. Dallas is 8-0, I believe, or 9-0, I believe, at home this year. Um,
Yeah.
undefeated at home, so they're definitely something to think about. What you got, Miles?
Man, I'm going with the boys, man. I think I think this is one of the ones where it's youth versus vets. Um, I mean, Dallas has been there before. They're playing at home. Veteran quarterback, veteran players. Green Bay has the youngest roster in the NFL. So um, I'm going with the vets. I mean, it's just logic, in my opinion.
Mm.
But I mean, but not saying that Green Bay doesn't have the ability to upset because they do. But I just think that the Cowboys are playing extremely well, in my opinion, and I don't think that they're going to allow them to lose a playoff game at home. So,
Now, so I'm gonna do this right because always been known to take the underdog. Um, this is gonna be my wacky wild pick of the week. I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I'm
What?
gonna go with Green Bay. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys have an eternal issue that really doesn't really get highlighted enough until they're in pressure games. And I feel like this is going to be one of those pressure games where time management becomes a big factor. And history serves me correctly. Dallas and Mike McCarthy is going to have issues with that. And I feel like this is going to be the game where they do. They're going to have an issue with it. It's going to upset a lot of bettors. It's going to destroy Vegas. It's going to cash out real quick. But I'm gonna go Green Bay. I think Jordan Love gets his first victory, playoff victory. They upset Dallas. Dak Prescott goes home. Mike McCarthy is teetered on getting fired or not, and Dan Quinn goes off in the sunset to Seattle to coach. Man, I'm gonna go with the score. I'm 21-17. It's gonna be close, but I feel like Green Bay's gonna pull it out.
Mm.
That that
That's
that
definitely gonna be a good one to
that's
watch.
gonna be a great one to watch. That's gonna be a great one to watch. And I think I hit them all, man. Is there any other games we missed that's happening this week? We got the Chiefs game.
Nah, you hit them all.
All right, cool. All right, good, man. So, everything's been great, man. This is a great episode. We really have touched on a lot. Um, Drive for five, man. So we trying something new this week, man. I'm gonna see if Coach Miles got a prop line, man. He got a 5 day parlay. I got the props. He got the bets. Let's see what he got, man. What you got for the betters out here, that our listeners? Give a
Hey,
5 leg, man.
5 leg.
This
I'm gonna take
weekend. This weekend.
this weekend. This weekend, I'm taking. I'm taking. I'm gonna give you a 4 leg. Anytime touchdown. Cash it. Thank you later. Isaiah Pacheco. Anytime touchdown. CD Lamb. Anytime touchdown. Um, Jalen Hurts. Anytime touchdown. And also Nico Collins. Anytime touchdown.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
And if you want to bet big, Jamari Gibbs anytime touchdown. Guaranteed to get you 4,500.
That'll work, man. That'll work. Go ahead, cash your bets in, man. Put that bet in. You trying to make you a few ends. Man, it's a good episode here, man. It was great talking to you, Sue. Good conversation, Miles.
Appreciate you,
We got
dog.
our picks in, man.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good weekend to watch some football, and see how this coaching carousel turns out. We should be able to hop back on, probably after the playoff games. Maybe we can get Sue back on, man. Have more talk about these games that we pick.
We'll have some more information. We'll have some more information. Hey, let me ask you something, man. Real quick. I know we got to wrap up, but I want to ask this question. Did Dion hire OC?
I haven't heard it yet, man. I've heard every other position except that.
So what do you kind of got this look, you shaking your head like you know something? Like, is there like an insight?
I got a wild card, man. My wild card is Byron Leftwich. He's trying to create an NFL atmosphere around there, and I think that he thinks that that's the best guy that's gonna be able to get his son NFL ready. And then I also think that
What's the holdup then?
and I think because Dion is this chess player and he has you waiting, and that's what brings the attention. So the anticipation. Pat Shermer is still in the building. Um, so I haven't really
Yeah,
heard.
at this point, he would have named him already, right?
Right, you know. So I think Byron is going to not only one coach his son, but I think two, it's going to catapult Byron Leftwich into a head coaching job in the NFL because he's going to showcase what he did with Shador, and then he's going to draft Shador round one, first pick.
Wow.
Oh wow, so bold predictions already for
Bold
2024,
prediction.
man. Coach Miles already throwing them out there for 2024. It's the first episode of 2024. Happy New Year's
Happy
to
New
everybody,
Year.
by the way. And you heard it here first. That's the bold prediction, man. Brian Leftwich to Colorado as the OC. He's then going to the NFL and drafting Shador Sanders number 1 overall.
Same system. It's an easy transition.
There you have it, man. Drop for five exclusive. There you have it here first. Hey, man, it's been a great episode, man. Sue, been great. Thank you for coming, man. To have giving you insight. Spending your time with us, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chilling. So thank you, sir. Thank you for giving your input.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. Y'all go check out Game Changer Chronicles. I
You
got my
already
little thing
know,
going on
Game changer
podcast too, man. I
Chronicles.
gotta
Check it out.
I gotta have y'all come over there and sit with me for a good 50-minute session.
Yeah, man. Yeah, whatever you know. Just give us an invite. All right, bro.
All right, y'all take it easy.